do you have hope for your partner, that your partner on their own accord is interested in, willing to, and desiring the value of the change that you know and that they know they need?
We all want things that we don't fully believe are possible for us, and that's okay. Are you allowing the hope for this thing to get in the way of you actually believing it's possible for you and then taking the actions necessary to actually get it? Hey, everybody, it's Bianca.
And it's Emilia.
Welcome to another episode of Evolve Ventures, where we are helping growth minded humans evolve by breaking one limiting belief at a time. We hope you enjoyed the last episode, 317, Motivation Monday, how to finally find your lifelong partner. For today, 318, the paradox between hope and belief you have to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You, before we dove in, asked me a question, and I said, stop talking. Let's just dive in and ask me that question again. So, Emilia, ask me your question again.
Okay. So my question was, can we have change if not for hope?
Ask it the way you asked me first time.
I'm
'Cause
trying to
that's not how you
remember.
asked it.
Are we able to change without hope?
No.
Why?
It's like you hear that question and the answer is just an automatic no. But then being asked to explain it, it's like you have to think about it. So,
Mm-hmm.
hope and belief go hand in hand, but they're also two very different things.
Mm-hmm.
Belief is a sense of knowing. Belief is a high degree of confidence and a high degree of probability based on evidence that you have in the past that therefore validates that thing that you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Hope is belief in something you haven't seen yet. Hope is belief in something that you don't yet have evidence to support. You don't yet have evidence to show you that there's a high probability of this happening. And I'll give a
Mm-hmm.
good example. I did not have hope that a really, actually, no, let me rephrase that. I did not have belief that a really healthy, adaptive relationship was possible for me because I had never seen one yet. Meaning, in my personal life, in my actual day to day, in the real tangible, I had never experienced it yet. So I didn't have belief
Mm-hmm.
that it was going to be possible for me.
Beautiful.
I did have hope though, and hope comes from desire,
Mm-hmm.
and not desire of like, how do I say this? Not like unhealthy desire, right? Like I desire a new car or anything like that, but it's desire in something greater, a desire in something more. And how can you have a better life without that? Without the desire and the wish and in some senses like the longing for
Mm-hmm.
something more, something better, something different.
Mm.
So, no, I don't believe that you can have a better life and a better world without hope.
Very, very interesting. And
You think differently?
I'm thrilled, before I get into that, I'm thrilled that you
Uh-oh.
shared what you did share. And this will connect to an article that I had written for Evolve, and it's on the website. I'm going to link it, make sure that it gets linked here. But why I mentioned that is because in that article, I really talked about the paradox of hope and belief that I want to bring into and bring alive in this episode, because I think what you just said is so palatable and it's so in sync with also what I personally believe. And it's not just belief that I'm clinging to, but it's also just facts, and I love facts. The quote that I want to bring out of that article is by Napoleon Hill. I had included that, and I'm going to read it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. Open mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, and belief. And I think that that's powerful because, in that essence of that
Mm.
quote, I really believe it embodies how what we've learned in science actually can translate into our experience. So, you mentioned the relationship zone.
I see what you're saying. Okay, this is gonna be a fun dialogue. Continue, and
Yeah.
then I'll
Yes, yes, yes.
I get it.
We're
I
gonna rumble.
get it.
Well, here's where this I've had many conversations on this topic around relationships because, and this is where it can get very hairy, but I will help to bubble this back to what the purpose of this episode is, which is helping us all gain a greater understanding about where we stand on this, and where not only we stand, but how we've navigated this. And
Mhm.
if anything, what golden nuggets can we take away as a collective to say, ooh, I might have a little bit of growth in this area. I might want to evolve a little bit more because I notice the benefits of this paradox. And I, thanks to the women at Evolve, have learned how to leverage that. So, the conversation that I've had many a times actually stems exactly around what you just said, B, which is usually in the intimate arena, relationship, love, desire, wanting, goal oriented behavior, and specifically around what happens when I'm in a relationship and I'm recognizing that my partner is a little bit more closed minded than I. I am someone who is goal or growth oriented, and I'm recognizing that my partner is not as much. And I, truth be told, am going to be the one that helps them and their mind open. Yet I'm concerned because I have a past history with this of believing that people can change, and then recognizing and getting kind of slapped in the face with the fact that the partner themselves are too fearful of change itself. That even if I had hope for them evolving in a way that was meaningful for them, they on their own accord are trapped by their own limiting beliefs, and thereby they don't change. So, for example, in this article, I wrote about this too. There's a partner, a couple that I had the privilege of being able to guide, and one of their experiences truly was deep, 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 deep down. One of the partners was super growth oriented. The other one was just starting her growth journey and hadn't really done a lot of the inner work that partner A, let's say, had done. And so partner A was really aware of like, oh no, if this partner doesn't do some of that growth, that is all inevitable for anyone who is trying to evolve. I'm concerned about me being able to, within an authentic, true version of myself, really show up as I know I need to in my growth journey. And so as a result of that, we had this dialogue. I said, well, do you have hope for your partner, that your partner on their own accord is interesting or is interested in, willing to, and desiring the value of the change that you know and that they know they need? And she wanted to believe that. But to your point, B, of what your experience was, she didn't necessarily have a lot of evidence to show that that was going to be the case. So it really kind of felt like for her, blind faith jumping in, trying to make sure that they could have the growth in their relationship. But truth be told, there was no evidence that she could see up until that point. And so I asked her this question. I said, what if you were to take that hope away? Would you still invest in that relationship? And I know that so many of us, if we were to pull hope away, the answer would be no, because this is where the crux of that paradox usually lies. It's if you pull hope away and your belief is strictly just focused on the past evidence that you have and not open minded to the future evidence that could be built because of your hope, that's where I think the interesting dynamic lies. Because truth be told, if you pull away that hope, then you're not going to leave any room to grow for that partner to want to grow. And I think that that principle is applicable in all areas of life.
Hey everybody, I just want to take a minute to talk about my experience with the Evolve Venture Society. They're a wonderful group of people who allow you to communicate in an open and honest way, and they're very supportive and full of positive energy. You can ask anyone for help. You can talk to anyone and ask for questions, and they're very supportive. And all they do is just help you to become the best version of yourself. And if anything, all I want to do is just learn more from this amazing group of people, and I think that they will help anybody who needs it, and that's the best thing that anybody can ask for.
I think in order to do anything significant, you do have to have both though. I mean, even think of what
Mhm.
we're doing here at Evolve. We
Mhm.
have a hope, we have faith in the idea and the concept that we can make this world a better place. Big
Mhm.
bold statement, I know, but it's the truth. It is what it is. That is what we're striving for.
Mhm.
Along with that hope, we also have the belief that we're going to do it
Mhm.
because we have evidence to suggest that it's going to work based on the amount of effort that we're putting in.
Mhm.
But I do completely agree with you that you can't just have hope without belief and without action because
Mhm.
hope on its own accord is very dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
You
it
can
is.
hope for things to be better. You can hope for a better life. You can have that sense of desire that things will change, but without action, without belief,
Evidence to build
without
up belief. Mhm.
evidence build up and the confidence to keep going and grit and persistence and all of these other things,
Resilience. Mhm.
hope is useless. We can hope that the world is a better place. We can hope that we can have a beautiful impact on the world. Doesn't mean anything. Going back to the previous episode, you can hope you find your lifelong partner.
Mhm.
Do you actually believe it's possible for you? Do you believe it'll be worth it? Are you do you believe in yourself that you're ready, willing, and able to take the actions necessary to actually attract that person?
Mhm.
These are the things that make this dialogue very tricky because hope and belief go hand in hand, and yet they're somewhat opposites because hope doesn't automatically insinuate action, belief
Mhm.
does. But you have to have both.
Mhm. Yeah, not only does it not insinuate, but it doesn't directly translate to action. So, for
Right.
example, if I was hopeful, like this was a fascinating example. I had hope, right? Talking kind of about the dream desire aspect, and this is something that's a little bit more tangible than, let's say, for example, inner work if someone's changing or whatnot, right? I had hoped that one day I would come across a cute little box of kittens on the side of the road and like one day have my own cute little like hero moment to like save those little kittens off the side of the road. Now that hope was just there as like a pure beautiful desire to want to help rescue these cute little kittens, right? Like that just was a hope that a little version, younger version of me always just wanted, right? Like I remember hearing stories of people finding a box of cats on the side of the road, which like all things aside, that's like super, super sad and wildly neglectful. But anyways, that aside, I had this thought like, well, why not? Why can't I find a cute little box of kittens and just rescue them all? Love that. Now, truth be told, that doesn't mean that that's just going to naturally happen because it requires me believing in my own ability to drive and to get in a car and to be able to navigate specific roads that have a higher probability that there might be kittens on the side of the road. Now, have I spent a ton of hours trying to go into certain areas and say, hey, where are the kittens and the boxes? No. But that's an interesting dynamic because, truth be told, that hope manifested into a reality, though it wasn't a box of kittens on the side of the road. It was little Miss Tilly crossing the road with her siblings. And carried on out. That's a tangible component. If I didn't have belief in my own ability that it was possible, would I ever have or attract that to me? The answer is no. Going back towards the relationship component where we're talking about inner work and people, and specifically the aspect of be what you had mentioned around changing the world for the better, right? Making a better place. That has so many intangibles where hope on its own accord will not translate to action. It has to have some micro step in the right direction that actually builds evidence that's going to put hope in your path that translates to belief that makes things happen. That's why it's such a paradox. And in relationships, what I find people get caught up in is that, truth be told, we will hope for our partner to change, or we will hope for being lovable so that we have and it can attract a partner. But truth be told, that belief is what either hinders us, holds us back, has us stay too long in an unhealthy relationship, has us doing things that we otherwise would have never done just because that little hope aspect. And that's why I would echo from the back, hope can be a very dangerous thing if it's not
Yeah.
also paired with the rationality and seeing what evidence actually is there for you to build.
I do just want to be mindful of the example that you gave, because there was like a very slim to none probability that you were just going to randomly find a box of kittens on the side of the road. I think you're like, that's such a, you're like the person that would happen to. You know what I mean? But I don't think that that's probable for most people. So, what's an example for all of you listening? What's an example of something that you really want and maybe you don't fully believe you're capable of yet? So, for example,
Mhm.
going back to school, being a better parent, attracting your dream partner, finding a job that's more aligned for you. These are things that are probable. They are possible because so many other people have done it. So, hope is beautiful. Wanting that thing, that's so beautiful.
Mm.
In comes the belief component. Do you believe it's possible? Well, other people
Mhm.
have done it. Do you
Yes.
believe it's possible for you? Do you believe it's going to be worth it? Those three questions will completely guide your actions and your decision making. Now, I'm not saying nobody is going to be able to find a box of kittens on the side of the road. I'm just saying don't let that example deter you from thinking this is relevant to you, because it is
Yes.
relevant to you. We all want things that we don't fully believe are possible for us, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Are you allowing the hope for this thing to get in the way of you actually believing it's possible for you and then taking the actions necessary to actually get it?
Mm. That example, it's so funny because when I think about it based on those 3 questions, I think I had built a belief that, like, I'm someone who doesn't attract that though. Like, and I don't know,
Really?
there was like a thought of like, it's happened to so many people. Why haven't I come across this? And so I think I don't want to get deeper into that example, but I would echo what you had said. And truth be told, when we are in a place, what I can say about human behavior, when we are strictly in a place that has way more hope than we do belief, that is a place that I know can be very dangerous for a lot of us. It is so, so important to have hope. Truth be told, so important.
Mhm.
And you also need belief. You also need to build belief in whatever that is. So if you're out there right now listening to this and you're recognizing based on this conversation, I have way more hope than I do belief in my life right now. Maybe it's time to reach out for help on how to build belief, and build belief not only for you, or maybe it's in your relationship, or maybe that's within your team, or maybe that's within your career. Why isn't that belief built? Is it because you don't believe that it's possible? You don't believe it's possible for you, or you're struggling to believe that it will be worth it to put in whatever effort is necessary? Because that's where help is going to have you leverage both and apply and gain the benefits of both hope and belief. It's super powerful when it does
Facts.
exist and when you can cultivate both.
Episode suggestion?
My episode suggestion is 288. Does accepting mean it's okay? You?
308. What stories are your inner critic writing? If you want to learn more about this, if you're in a place where you want to build more belief, you're struggling to figure out how, you don't have a ton of time in your life to, jump on a call and do all of these extra things, we have developed the Evolve Ventures You Do You program. This is an amazing program for all of you busy people out there who still want growth, who still want therapy, who still want coaching, but you're not in a place yet where you can allocate extra time in your schedule for that. It's completely online. Very little is required of you. It's basically you show up when you're ready and when you can set aside the time to send a message in your
Mhm.
day. So, if that sounds like the right option for you, click the link in the description, or you can just go to evolveventurestech.com/therapy and all of that information will be there for you. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week. We hope you enjoyed this episode and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.